In the misty highlands of Scotland, where the lochs were dark and the fog crept over the land like a living thing, there were whispers of a creature, a beast that lived beneath the water, lurking in the depths of the isolated lochs. The locals called it the Kelpie, a shape-shifting water spirit whose dark presence were felt in the very air. The legends told of its deceptive beauty. At first glance, it appeared as a majestic horse, its sleek black coat shimmering in the moonlight, mane flowing like liquid silk. Its eyes, however, were what gave it away, glowing with an unnatural, otherworldly light, cold and empty like the depths of the loch itself. Elzebah had heard the stories, of course. Her father had warned her about the creature when she was a little girl. But now, standing at the edge of Loch Doon, a wide, eerie body of water near her family's cottage, Elzebah was no longer a child. She had grown up with a deep love for the Highlands and the strange beauty that came with them. One crisp autumn evening, when the sun dipped low in the sky and the moon began to rise, she found herself drawn to the loch once more. The air was damp and the mist rolled in from the water, casting the world around her in a ghostly haze. As Elzebah stood at the water's edge, gazing across the black expansion, a shape emerged from the mist. She froze. At first she thought it was simply the silhouette of a horse, just another animal wandering near the loch. But then, as it drew nearer, she saw that its mane was sleek and shimmering in the dim light, and its eyes, those eyes, glowed an eerie shade of pale blue, impossibly bright in the night. Her heart skipped a beat. It was beautiful, majestic even, but it was also wrong. There was something about its presence that set her nerves on edge. The horse came closer, its hoofs making no sound against the soft earth. It stopped just out of reach, watching her intently with those glowing eyes. Elzebah felt a strange pull in her chest, an irresistible urge to step forward, to approach the creature. Suddenly the wind picked up, and she heard a voice, soft, melodic, yet chilling. "Elzebah, come closer. I have something to show you." Her blood ran cold. The voice wasn't just a whisper in the wind. It was clear, like it was coming from the creature itself, the words woven with an unsettling promise. Her name spoken in that voice sent shivers down her spine. Elzebah took a step back, but the creature didn't move. Its eyes remained fixed on her, and the voice echoed again, louder this time. "You are not afraid? You can trust me. Come closer." She knew the stories. She knew what the Kelpie did to those who were foolish enough to trust it. The legends spoke of the horse's beauty, luring people to its side, its gentle nature convincing them to climb onto its back. But once they did, the Kelpie would drag them into the water, drowning them in the depths of the loch. There, they would become part of the Kelpie's eerie collection of lost souls. Despite the warning ringing in her mind, Elzebah felt an undeniable desire to approach. Her feet seemed to move on their own, as though she was caught in a trance. The creature's eyes locked with hers, as she felt a strange warmth spreading through her chest, a sense of peace she hadn't known before. When she was only a few feet away, she reached out, her fingers brushing the soft, glossy coat of the Kelpie's mane. It was warm, almost lifelike, but there was something wrong beneath the surface. The skin felt unnaturally smooth, like rubber. Before she could pull her hand away, the horse's head snapped towards her, and its glowing eyes widened, burning with a cold, hungry light. A sudden force yanked her forward, and in an instant she found herself on its back, the creature's body rigid and trembling beneath her. The world around her began to blur, the mist swirling violently, and the air turned frigid. The Kelpie's body lurched forward with unnatural speed, racing towards the loch. Screaming, Elzebah tried to pull away, but her legs were locked in place as if they were part of the beast. Her heart pounded, but it was too late. The Kelpie had already begun to submerge itself into the dark, icy waters. With a violent, forceful plunge, the creature dived deep into the loch, dragging her under. The cold was suffocating, the water pressing in around her like 1,000 icy hands. The creature's form twisted beneath her, and she felt its body contort, growing larger and more monstrous. Its skin slick and wet like the surface of the water. "You cannot escape," the Kelpie's voice echoed in her mind, now dark and sinister. "You are mine." As the water closed over her head, Elsaba's body went limp. The air sucked from her lungs, her last breath mingling with the cold, dark waters of Loch Doon. And there, deep beneath the surface, her soul joined the others, lost, drowned, and bound forever by the Kelpie's dark magic. To this day, those who wander too close to Loch Doon at night say they can hear the soft sound of hoofs on the water's edge, accompanied by a haunting, melodic whisper carried on the wind. The Kelpie still waits, its eyes glowing beneath the surface, calling to the next fool who dares to listen. "Come closer."